Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Friday the 11th of October. Well, first, a quick recap on Thursday's performance. Well, frustrating to say the least. And for those of you who saw Thursday's video, you'll know exactly what I mean. So, the first selection ran okay. It came second at 6 to 1 as advised to take the price. However, unfortunately, I gave a danger out to my selection. The danger went and won. It was Russian Rumour. I couldn't quite back it on Thursday because I didn't believe that Russian Rumour would handle the very slow ground quite as much as Tarbatness, I believe it's called, the horse that came second. So it actually worked out that if it had took my advice on back in the second and coupled it with my danger, you'd have got a £46 exacta. I didn't advise that, but I'm just saying that's what it made. So then in another race, so it was a disappointing day after that because we had nothing else placed. We had ET, which I'm putting a line completely straight through that. There was no excuses today. I don't know what the excuse would have been or could have been, but none from me. I'm putting a line through that. So you can guarantee the next time I select a horse in a race where ET is in, ET is probably going to run extremely well. The other horse is Matisse. Well, I packed him with that as well because I thought, I think that just looks like it's finished for the season now. It's just going through the paces. Could be worth putting in a notebook for next season because obviously it'll be freshened up and it should be off a very good handicap mark. Well, once again, I gave a selection for. I said I was like tossing between two horses, Matisse and also Rousing Encore. Well, Rousing Encore went on to win 11 to 1 in that race. The reason why I couldn't back it is because I do believe that Rousing Encore was coming off a bit of a break, I think. Yeah, so frustrating. So we missed out on two winners, 7 to 1 and 11 to 1. But I did fancy two horses, as I said, above those. So yeah, I hate to use this expression, but it was what it was. That's not an expression I normally hear. It's normally it is what it is, but no, it was what it was. And Jenny, well, I don't quite know what went off with that one either. I was looking at the speedometer, and it was only about 34, 35 miles an hour for, I believe it was a 7 furlong race. Could have been a mile, but 7 furlong race, whatever it was. It looked as though it had got the fractions right, but then it just tamely folded and actually capitulated in the last half furlong. So that was disappointing. So there are two tracks that I haven't got a great record at, Bath and Ayr, but I did fancy the horses. So I'll maybe be steering clear of those two tracks for the time being. But one track we have done quite well with recently is York. So I do like the card at York tomorrow. I've kept it to York as well. I do believe there will be a draw bias at York, probably more pronounced on Saturday. I haven't looked at all the fields for Saturday, but I do believe. So what normally happens on soft ground, or should I say, what normally happens is people believe that when it's soft ground, they automatically come to this near side. Well, they may well come to this near side on the round course, so you might see them coming over to this near side. The draw bias is more pronounced when it's actually raining on that day. That's when they seem to really benefit from coming to the near side. I believe, and probably more Saturday than Friday, but I have gone for a horse that will benefit from what I'm going to say. I believe the draw advantage on the straight course will be straight down the middle and possibly heading slightly towards the far side where the low numbers are. I don't think you'll see too much on Friday because there's only one race really. I think it's the 5 furlong race or an 18-runner 5 furlong race where that might happen. But nobody knows exactly. We don't know what they've been doing to the track since they've raced. But I believe they'll come straight down the middle, then slightly edge out towards the far side. What they might do, there is no more rain planned, forecast, not planned. Well, could it be planned? There's no more rain forecast. So I expect it could churn up a little bit, but you might find that if they do head towards the middle of the course quite a lot, you might find on Saturday that they go very slightly either side of the middle, if you know what I mean. But I do believe you will be favoured if you go down the middle and then gradually edge towards the far side. I don't think you'll see any horses on the straight course hugging either rail. So let me get into it. So it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15. I've taken the prices because I think the prices are fair, even though it's with Skybet the night before, where you can sometimes get absolutely robbed. So it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, and 25 pence each way singles comes to a fiver. So the first selection is Naxos at 13-2 in the 130 at York, paying 6 places instead of 4. Loves this kind of ground. It's relatively lightly raced, if I'm being honest. I do like the stable of George Bowie. I don't quite know who's moving into Michael Stout's stable yet, but it'll be very interesting and to see how powerful this yard could get if they do move into the Michael Stout yard. It's ridden by Callum Rodriguez. Well, Callum Rodriguez is on fire at the moment, mainly up north for Ed Bethel. But it's interesting that the fact he's taken this ride on Naxos, and I think it's got a good chance. It handles slow ground. I don't think that the ground will be absolutely terrible, but it'll make you breathe. As in, like, it'll be hard work to a degree, but I think you need to be not too far away from the pace. I don't think you'll be coming from miles behind at York on soft ground. It will gradually quicken throughout the meeting. I'm not sure if it actually continues to Sunday. I haven't looked that far yet. But on Saturday, as I said, there could be a draw by a straight down the middle or maybe to far side, where on Saturday I believe there'll be more straight course races. So the second selection is Mr. Fantastic at 7-1 in the 5-2 at York, paying 5 places instead of 3. So this horse is trained by Carl Burke. So this trainer can't do anything wrong at the moment. Yeah, the first, second, and third in the the Air Gold Cup. He also had the winner, was it of the Cambridgeshire? So he's on fire. This horse running into a bit of form. One of the reasons why I've gone for this horse is that, yes, I do like the fact that it's heading in the right direction, but it's the fact that the trainer had got quite a few horses to choose from to run in this race. Don't get me wrong, there are some quite high-profile trainers in this race where you can apply the same rule, but I just think Carl Burke at York, you can't ignore it. And Clifford Lee will know all about this horse because he probably rides it at home. He rode it on its last run, which was a win. Excuse me, crikey. I think you must be doing that while you listen to me. So let's go on to the third selection. So the third selection is the old boy. Well, I think it's old. It seems like it's been around for years. Dakota Gold at 14-1 in the 3:45 at York, paying 6 places instead of 4. So this horse is drawn down the middle on the straight course. It likes soft ground. It's had 2 runs from having a break. It ran disappointing on its reappearance, but much better last time. I think if it's on a going day, it could run an absolute cracker. I think it's Michael Dodds that trains this horse. I think this might be the first time I've ever backed it. I might have backed it once, and I think it actually won without going back. I think it was about 5-1, maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I backed it. It's very rare that I back this horse. I think it's got every chance. I don't think it's a fantastic race, and I do think this horse could be running hopefully running to a little bit of form and saved for the back end of the season. There's a reason why obviously they put it away after like a late spring campaign, and now they brought it out again. So I find it interesting that they've gone for that angle, and maybe this race has been aimed for this horse for quite a while now. So we'll see tomorrow. So 3 interesting horses so far. The final selection is Hectic at 11-1 in the 4:55 at York, paying 6 places instead of 4. The reason I've gone for this horse is I'm just hoping that it's not like kind of running out of steam. So what I think is I think this horse is plenty good enough to win this race. And I mean, yeah, win this race based on its York form this season. It's ran in some red hot races. I was trying to remember the obviously I'm not looking at it now, but in fact, I'm going to tell you now because I'm on my laptop. So hectic. So the races it ran at York, and I know before I even look, it ran behind a horse called Riot. Ah, that's it. I've just remembered now. So also it ran behind, and this is at York, Tolstoy. So Tolstoy's been in fantastic form this season. Well, this horse, don't get me wrong, it's not been right behind it. It's been beaten 5 3/4 lengths and 6.5 lengths by Tolstoy, but the form behind Riot when it's only beaten 3 1/4 lengths, and that was course and distance form. I just think this horse has got a cracking chance. It's ran some okay races the last three, so I'll say okay. Beaten 6 lengths by Tolstoy, that was in July. August was Great Max, beaten 4 lengths. That was on good firm ground. Not convinced it wants quick ground. Then most recently, it ran at Carlisle on the 11th of September on soft ground, beaten 4.5 lengths by a mile. So at the beginning of the season, it was rated 85. It's now rated 72. This horse last season was trained by Richard Hannon, and it was actually running, and even running okay, rated in the 90s. So I think this horse, it will appreciate the slower ground. I think if it rekindles some of its York form, and it's not had too long a season, I think it's got a cracking chance. Paying first six, I fully expect this horse. It'll probably be mid division and come with a late, hopefully sustained run. It's got Jack Doherty Jack Doherty on board, and this jockey has actually ridden this horse when on the 14th of June when it ran at York over 7 furlongs on good to soft ground, beaten 5 3/4 lengths by Tolstoy, and I believe that was in a professional jockey's race. So yeah, no, sorry, it wasn't. It was an apprentice race. I just had a look. So it's now rated £8 lower than that run. I just think it's got a good chance. So we'll see. It's about time we had an upturn in fortune. So if you can help that upturn in fortunes by giving this video a like, for those superstitious people out there, so I would really appreciate it. Let's try and get that like count to above 50. It's only a small channel, so I appreciate everybody who clicks that like button or even listens this far. It's not easy listening to my voice. So I wish the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.